What's up, friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I'm Susie. I am a working professional busy mom turned fitness trainer. Today we are getting into some of the nitty-gritty stuff, the questions I literally always get asked about as a certified personal trainer and a certified nutrition coach. I have people come to me all the time with concerns about why they're not losing weight or why the scale isn't seeming to budge. It's tough, I know it can be so frustrating feeling like you're trying to make changes to your diet or your workout routine, you're really putting in some work and you're just not seeing the results that you want to see. So these are the top most common reasons that you may not be seeing the results you want to see. So I'm just gonna start off with the number one reason, which kind of ties in some of the other reasons. Overall, number one, this is what it commonly boils down to. More often than not, it's because you are not in a calorie deficit. But let's talk about that a little bit more. Let's discuss. Science says that in order to lose body fat, we need to be in a caloric deficit, which means that we need to eat less calories than we burn. So if our body actually needs, let's say, 2,000 calories to function, to do our everyday tasks, to get through our day basically and survive, we need 2,000 calories for what we're going to be doing, and we eat 2,500 calories, our body is naturally wired to hang on to those extra 500 calories and store them in the form of body fat. If you've never tracked your food before, as in taken out a food scale and measured your portion sizes, logged every single thing that you eat and drink in a day and added all of that up, then you probably, chances are, you're probably eating a lot more calories than you realize. You could easily be over consuming calories and eating in a caloric surplus, which leads to weight gain, aka definitely not losing body fat. Remember, the concept for losing body fat is simple. If you want to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. Try this. Try tracking your foods for a week, logging everything that you eat, making sure that you're keeping in mind how much of each of those things you're eating. You will be surprised at the amount of calories that you are actually eating. On the other hand, sometimes, and this leads me to number two, sometimes you're eating too little. Now hear me out. It doesn't really make sense initially, because we've all probably heard that if you gain weight or if you're overweight and you have extra body fat, that's because you eat too much. But what a lot of people are not aware of is that yes, you can also not be losing weight because you're eating too little. Eating too little can make it surprisingly difficult to be able to lose body fat. So your body has a natural instinct to protect itself. So when you don't give it enough food, your body goes into starvation mode automatically. And this leads to slowing down your metabolism, and your body begins to store fat and calories for later use. So I've given you two things here. I've told you don't eat too much, be in a calorie deficit, but I've also told you don't eat too little. Make sure you're eating enough food, right? I know it sounds tricky, but bear with me. We're gonna sort these things out, okay? I'm gonna paint this picture for you. We're gonna move on really quickly to a third, which is kind of a subset to number one, not being in a calorie deficit. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we are eating enough and not too much. What this looks like is getting on a meal plan, for example, which I do for all of my clients. Based on their weight, height, age, a number of factors, I figure out a good range of calories that they should be eating for their activity level, all of those things taken into consideration. And we make sure that not only are they eating a sufficient amount of food and not overeating, also getting those calories from a well-balanced proportion of macronutrients. Right amount of proteins, carbs, and fats for their needs so that they can fuel their workouts, they can feel energized, they can feel full and satiated throughout the day, and they can help their body recover from their workouts. So our approach to nutrition can definitely be one of the things that's holding us back from losing weight. Whether it's overeating, undereating, we need to find the right amount that our body actually needs in order to be properly fueled, to give it the nutrients that it needs, etc. Another reason that I often see people struggling to lose weight, and this is directly tied to that calorie deficit concept, is that you reward your workouts with food. This kind of goes back to eating more than you realize. Yes, exercise is a great way to burn calories and to build muscle mass and to feel like you're doing well on your journey. If you can get yourself to go do your workouts, that's amazing. Kudos to you. But what you shouldn't be doing, what kind of goes over a lot of people's heads, is that just because you worked out doesn't mean that you should go eat this big dinner or have this snack as a reward for yourself, because you don't realize how easily you can undo all of the hard work that you did in the gym. And I can't emphasize this enough. I really can't. This is something that I also struggled to learn along my fitness journey, and something that I wish I would have understood a lot more in detail before. So remember, this is all a numbers game. Just because you worked out does not mean that you're still in a calorie deficit. You might feel like you did a lot of work, you might feel like you sweat a lot during your workout and you're feeling really accomplished, but please remember that you can easily add in those calories that you just burned by eating something that's really high in calories or just not watching your portion sizes. So instead of viewing it as treating yourself for the workout that you just did, why don't you reward your hard work by fueling your body properly? Think of it as having to give your body the nutrients and fuel that it needs so that you can recover from it and be ready for the next workout. Now, on the other hand, another reason that you might not be losing weight is because you're overestimating the amount of calories that you think you burned when you were working out, but it really wasn't as much as you think it was. And so you're eating those calories back again after you work out. You're overeating because you think that you have that much more room in your daily intake. The last reason, and this is something that you probably don't want to hear, but I'm here to tell you because baby, you need to hear it. You are not being consistent enough. You haven't given it enough time. Ask yourself, how long have I stuck to this? How consistent have I been? How well have I stuck to the plan that I gave myself? Is there room for improvement in how consistent I've been? Even if somebody gave you a meal plan, let's say, and somebody told you exactly what to eat, they figured out how many calories you need to eat, the right balance of macronutrients, so you're eating enough protein, carbs, and fats, and you're working out several times a week, you need to ask yourself how consistent you've been and for how long. Sometimes it's just too soon for us to see those results. Give it time, please. If you are eating well throughout the week, let's say Monday through Friday, you hit your macros, you're eating the right amount of calories, you're getting those workouts in, you know you're in a calorie deficit, but during the weekend, you kind of go off the walls and you have more than, let's say, just a cheat meal, you have a cheat day or 2 cheat days, then you have to take into consideration that you're not being as consistent as you should be to get those results. Those 2 days or 1 day of overeating can make it so that you're not actually in a calorie deficit like you should be. So they're kind of counterbalancing with the days that you are in a calorie deficit, and you're at that point kind of just maintaining. Are you, for the most part, like 7 days a week sticking to that meal plan and sticking to your workout regimen, or are you kind of wishy-washy, in and out, not going all the way in like you should be? If you're only doing it sometimes, then don't expect greater results. You can still definitely see progress even if you don't do those things every day consistently to a T. If you're not in a calorie deficit every single day, 7 days a week, that's okay. You can still see progress, but it might just be a little bit slower if you're doing that 3 days a week as opposed to 5 days a week, if that makes sense. Please don't expect dramatic results when you're not making those dramatic changes, right? If you're not going hard, working out multiple days a week, and making sure that you're on your meal plan or that you're sticking to the nutrition plan that you should be, then ask yourself where you can make those changes. How much more disciplined can you be? How much more consistent can you be? And how can you improve that area? So again, these are just some of the more common ones that I have seen in my own experience with my own fitness journey, things that I wish I would have been able to ask myself much further back. And now, as someone who has much more experience and education in terms of these topics, I see this all the time. I see these mistakes being made. And I want you to ask yourself if any of these things sound like something that you could potentially change so that you start to see the results that you want to see. Now, if you're looking for one-on-one online coaching, or you don't know where to start, if you need help with a workout program or some nutritional guidance, if you want to take that macro-based approach to your nutrition, I can definitely help with that. I do have some spots open for one-on-one online training if that's the route that you're looking for. If you need some guidance, some accountability in terms of working out and nutrition, check out the link to my website in the description box down below. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to comment them. I hope this video was helpful in helping you assess some of the reasons that you might be feeling stuck in your health or fitness journey. If you want to see more about my journey, please go back to my further videos. Thank you so much for watching today. I will see you guys in the next video.